don't really need an intro at this point. I didn't know we could even keep doing it like this. One
Oh, for
time I had an amazing interview with Justin Pearson from The Locust, and this is actually what started our friendship, but like Zoom ate it, and no one will ever see most of it. Yeah, so there's like 15 minutes of us making jokes about like mathcore and like what we're calling stuff, and that's all that exists. And it was like, as a fan of theirs, I was really proud. I was like, I asked some decent ass questions, and I hope Zoom enjoyed it. That's all I could say. So
uh,
yeah, I don't know. I definitely been trying. I've been trying to like update infrastructure with the with Fecking Bahamas in general, but like as one dude that's also a lone administrator, it is tough to deal with
I
running
bet.
a website and whatnot. But anyway, I know you guys notice like to manage multiple projects. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it is terrible. Um, I guess so. We've already talked about like what was the most difficult part of recording, but like, was there anything that compositionally was difficult where you're like, we really need to come up with something new or something different for this part? Did you guys have any challenges like that you can remember?
Yeah, I think not, but not actually during the recording, but on the way up to it. Yeah, I mean, I think so Daniel, tell me if you tell if you have recollections of this, but there's one song, the Grim Gribber. There's like a big chunk, like maybe toward the end, not quite the end, where I had a particular idea in my brain of how stuff was going to go, and we were having like I was having a hard time communicating it, and then I very much needed it to come out in a certain way, and I don't know. I was trying to use different metaphors for like this is how this needs to go, and I was like, after we do this part, and I was picturing like those things where like a gymnast does like 17
Oh yeah.
things in the air and then they land and they just stick the landing. They're just like blah. I was like, that's what has to
I do
happen for
remember
this,
stick
man.
the landing. I remember the phrase stick the landing.
Yeah, stick to the landing. There was a part that was just called the gymnast, I think. So there was like a lot of back and forth. It was like both of those parts are good, but they are not going together in a way that like puts the right punctuation mark after that part. And so we messed around with a lot of different ideas until we finally got it to where the gymnast stuck the landing and
That's
got the
awesome.
bronze star. But then it was later taken out because she had been using performance enhancing drugs.
Uh,
Yeah.
Uh,
Shame.
how could she?
oh, there were quite a few really tough parts, that took um for all three of us, I think, because we recorded it separately, you know, and with each other in the room though, and that makes a difference. So it was it felt good to have that much, attention to your part. Um, but I think it also meant that, yeah, practically everything was hard. The easy riffs were hard, because we wanted them to be just totally perfect. And and not just perfect, but you know, there is no perfect. There's just what do you want it to be?
The right
What are
one.
you gonna not regret later, the thing that you make it be? And as an afterthought, asterisk for next time, it's also going to include, can I play this live very easily or not? Because there's one or two things, I won't tell which, that are a little different in the live versions.
That's cool.
But that
Um,
I think are really cool on the album. I love how they turned out. And it's like it's too small of a detail that anyone would notice. But there's like one or two things like that.
I would almost expect you in particular to notice them after listening to what you're doing with bass in Cleric.
Mm.
I feel like you have a very dynamic way of phrasing stuff with Cleric, which is probably very applicable to the way you want to like not mimic Jeremiah style, but like stick to what was laid down before and like use that as groundwork.
Absolutely.
You seem like a really good choice for that. And then I was
Thank you.
just kind of amazed with how melodic you got with the stuff with Cleric and like
Yep.
technical and mixed all over the place. And so it makes sense that like your ear is very sensitive to that.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities and differences,
Yeah,
you know, but this is a unique band that's like, I think the process of this band, I knew it would be crazy. I knew it
sure.
would be crazy.
And I mean, was it similar for you, Jack? Because you have like a very different, almost kind of like progressive math core thing going on with the with Basil's Kite. And did you have like a similar set of I don't know what you would even call it, like expectations going into playing with Yowie, or were you just trying to go in as a blank slate?
Um, I think the thing that took me by surprise is just the level of antagonism, I guess, between parts. Um, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. It's like because I feel like with a lot of this music, and this goes for a lot of bands, there's like there's a moment where you go, okay, let's nail this difficult rhythm that's in like 13 or something, and then you'll all play it together, and then what you'll hear back is kind of like this binary 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 kind of thing, where it's you know whatever rhythm it might be, it's just all everyone's playing in unison. But the fun thing with Yowie is that it's like, oh no, I don't want you playing my 13. Like maybe what you should do is maybe we should play like one of us do a 39, and like every three repetitions it'll line up, and like that's a cool idea. And it's like it's this level of yeah, I think it was the first time I've been on a record and people have been like, yeah, you know, you can do more if you want. You
Yeah.
can do more, because usually it's like consider 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 chilling out, Jack, you know, consider playing to the song more, like find your pocket and that kind of thing. But here it was like, oh no, like we want the absolute most intense version of what this could possibly be at all moments. So yeah.
That is right. And then I guess for you, Sean, what was the curation process like in terms of, hey, I'm picking Jack and Daniel. Like, was there an exact moment for that, or was it like people just telling you, hey, this would be a logical step with this person, or how did that go?
I mean, so I gotta say, like, part of it is my fault, like we were saying about the David Yao thing is like I I did have difficulty. So like with the long distance thing, like Daniel has kindly minimized how rough that was, but like at first I just had like I was literally just recording off of the microphone that was in my computer. And so everything I sent him just sounded, you know, like it was 90s industrial or something. It was
Yeah,
like a super crazy, like
Aphex Twin style.
distorted. Yeah, yeah, but it was just I don't know what I'm doing. Um, so like so like Daniel like im immediately when he said like he would be interested, I think it was it the same day or the next day? He just like sent me back a big chunk of one of the Yowie songs called Absurdly Ineffective Barricade. Uh, I think maybe, and you tell me, Daniel, but I think maybe to let me know, like, I'm not fucking around. I can do this, right? And
Absolutely.
I I know how to do this. And I'll do the work. And I'm not kidding. And I was like, okay, well, this is for real, and not the experience that I have had over I'd say roughly 18 years of my life that I've spent trying people out for Yowie, and that I don't think is an exaggeration. Something like that. Maybe it's 16. And then Jack with the distance to Australia, it like kind of felt like that's kind of wild. Like that is a bigger distance, but the more we got into it, because like he's an amazing guitarist, but the distance, right? But the distance. And I just had to let go of the idea that we're going to be playing local shows. And also accept that, well, if we're doing a lot of this remotely, Jack could be on fucking Mars and it doesn't really matter, honestly, except for when we have to have Zoom meetings together.
which I'm so
Yeah.
sorry about.
That's it. Jack's the one who troopered through it and got up at 7 a.m. and made coffee for
And
us.
showed us your cool machinery. Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah.
I guess kind of a question off of that is like, how would you describe the importance of local shows?
I guess that's for me. Like, as I've said in other interviews recently, I really do hate recording. The two parts I like about being in a band are writing music and then performing live, in that order, frankly. Um, and I think, for a long time here in St. Louis, if interesting, more avant band came through, a lot of times we were on a relatively short list of people who'd be appropriate to play with them and have had like great experiences that way. And the St. Louis sort of adventurous music scene has had ups and downs over the years.
Sure.
And I would still like to be a part of that. If Jack and Daniel would just hurry up and move here, it would make that a lot easier. I'm not sure if they have plans to move to the utopia that is St. Louis, Missouri.
It's so appealing to go to the States right now.
Isn't it? Yeah, no, we're just Disneyland 24/7 over here.
Yeah.
No, it actually is because everyone that I met in the US was an awesome person who loves math rock, and I assume that everyone else is like that. I assume
Yeah.
that every single
Wow.
person is like.
Wouldn't that be sick? I don't know. I don't know why. Like, maybe you're right, Jack. Honestly, I don't know what's going on anymore. But like, the more crazy shit that's happening in the United States, people do turn to entertainment and other kinds of escape more. I have been one of the very few people I feel like who's been like benefiting from that in a weird way. And it feels weird every day to watch people that I've been paying attention to for years to watch them complain about engagement changing, their statistics of like viewership lowering, and like mine has been doing the opposite for a while, and I don't know what's going on. And I think a lot of it does have to do with like if you're able to spread good music or good vibes in some way, it does make you a hot commodity no matter where you are. I wouldn't say you need to move here to be that for people, but hey, I can't stop you.
No, you just need the teleportation ray to become a thing.
Yeah, even a holographic suit thing, you could just,
That could work.
Yeah.
play, step into it, and like the suit would play the guitar, you
Yeah, well,
know?
they'll just do tour in virtual reality.
Incredible idea, honestly. I don't know why that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So I'll say the technology's made leaps and bounds with doing some of this stuff, and I'm like waiting for the day that we can have a virtual band practice. Like that we
Oh,
can
Yeah.
sure.
get the tech so that we can like mix each other in and like wear headphones and like be able to actually play music at the same time without lag and
Quantum
be able to
entanglement.
hear. Yeah.
You could
Quantum entanglement signal transfer.
could do that. I mean, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to break down quantum entanglement, but yeah, you could
That should
definitely
be a
like think
title of
about
a
that.
future song, honestly. Because if we put that title out on a song, it's like putting the intention into the world.
Well, yeah,
There.
exactly. I sorry, my brain is stuck on that right now. And it's just like, no, you could do that. You could do that. You could do that. um, but we don't have to. But definitely, I understand why that would be a priority because obviously, it would make so many things easier. And I feel like people were talking about it a lot. So, early 2020s when it became imperative. Some people just couldn't be in a room. Uh, and then the well, Zoom was heavily invested in by a large religious group, and it changed the trajectory of where those investments were going. Yeah, not to continuously like try to push things towards like conspiratorial or spooky stuff. But yeah, Jack, I live like right in the center of like a very large religious part, like anomaly in the desert. I'm not religious myself, but like I'm in St. George, Utah, and surrounded by a lot of religious people. And there's other interesting things happening in this town if you read the news about the United States. But anyway, it's a weird time to be making music, but I'm really it feels good to end or get close to the end of 2025 and have something as complicated and endlessly rewarding in a way as like a Yowie record. I feel like Yowie records just give forever, right? Like it's always going to take your mind a lot to wrap around those parts. Um, at least as a listener, that's it's part of like a
You won't learn
exercise.
them yourself. If you're watching this video, you won't learn them.
Don't do it.
You're not going to play it. You're not going to play my part.
Does that ever get weird when you see? I mean, I'm maybe it hasn't happened quite yet, but like playthroughs sometimes get like they're like a popular form of content. And I have seen some people get weird, like, hey, either they played that wrong or they that meter is not actually how we count that.
I just mean
I
because of the effort. Not that someone couldn't
oh
do it.
sure,
It's not
I'm
going to be
sure
very rewarding because it's too much work because they need a lot of views on their video and then move on to the next thing. So it's not going
that's
to be
true.
a good use of their time to do that.
Just muscle. I mean, it'd be good for their like their muscle memory. But yeah, I can definitely see that.
Take
That's
your
why
medicine.
that content like goes away so fast. Like the next thing is present. You got to imitate the next thing. But yeah, definitely if anyone's trying to do that for Yowie, God bless you. Good luck with that.
Jack's the only person. Well, I guess there's two people. One on drums, and then Jack's the only person that I ever saw do a Yowie playthrough, unless you count the like rock band thing that we have.
Do
Oh
you,
yeah,
is
fun.
that the game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hell
or
yeah.
I guess it's
someone
rock
tapped
band.
out on it
Yeah,
was microfiche,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
That would be the one probably. That's awesome. I didn't know you
Kind
guys
of
had
counts.
placement on
Kind of
that.
counts.
I think
yeah.
it was a version. It might have been something like Clone Hero, and someone just you can tab it out yourself, or you can use like audio to MIDI, and it will just
Uh,
transfer it to like a playable version of the song. I would be so flattered if someone figured out my guitar parts.
oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd be very impressed. But I also I have everything tabbed out very specifically, but I also don't really want to just I could just show people, but it's I had so much fun learning it without without tabs, you know? It's like I feel
Yeah.
like part of it is just figuring it out, but if someone really wanted, I could probably send something, but I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing is
Those
I feel that if they're going to learn it, tabs probably aren't the only way that you're going to learn it by because
Hmm.
it's easier to figure it out in some ways than it would be to read some of the stuff.
yeah, the
Yeah.
tabs must be
It's not
pretty
like a classical
weird.
guitar piece that's like meant to be read, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That would be pretty difficult. I can't imagine tabbing out some like it sounds to me like as someone that's vaguely familiar with what I think is happening on some of the guitar parts, like a lot of is there whammy bar abuse? How do you
No,
notate these bending things that are happening?
Jack has the
Yeah,
whammy.
it's all this right here. It's the I forget what this bridge is called. It's like a float. It's like the Mustang bridge.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I just can you just play it.
Wait.
But yeah, no like no dive bombs. Just it's all just
Right,
with
right.
and yeah.
Mm,
It's just that accent of a just sudden pitch
yeah.
bend is such a for me that's one of the things that I look for when I hear Yowie. I'm just like, okay, I'm hearing like an instrument wheezing or like coughing,
Mhm.
trying to like say something, maybe like a zombie trying to like a lot of that stuff coming through a
I like
guitar. And yeah, well done.
Jack, would you mind telling the story, or both of you guys, of when you bought the guitar? I
Oh
thought
yeah.
that was like
I,
kind of
I,
funny.
I spent way too much money, but essentially I just traveled over without a guitar, and then went and sat in what was the shop called? Daniel?
Right.
He's a guitar.
Well, I don't have any um association with this place or
Yeah,
endorsement deals, but
but
let's
they
just
should
say
endorse you.
it was
They should endorse.
Russo music. Russo music.
Yeah, and then I tuned it to my weird tuning, and then um they were like, "Is this on purpose?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Not how you tell.
And then they set it up and adjusted the truss rod and did everything for to be in this weird tuning. Is that the full story? Am I missing some of it, Sean?
Well, yeah, you gave them the specs for how you wanted it to set up, and
Yeah,
like they were, I don't know, trying to be, I guess, kind of a fancy place or something, sort of, can we bring you coffee or whatever? And so we're kind of waiting, and the salesperson takes it upstairs to the, I guess, the tech. Is that the right word? And
yeah.
so they're up there for a little while, and you kind of hear some kind of conversation. Then she comes back down, and she's like, "So." Are you sure? Right. And then like wanted to like go back over it, because I think the tech was probably saying something like, there's absolutely no way that that's what he's trying to do. Like, so go figure it out or whatever. And so we're like,
Hmm.
no, it's exactly what we told you. And then, she goes back upstairs and there's some conversation for a little while longer. She comes back down and she looks like kind of nervous and she's like, well, we have to inform you that
This
if you
voice.
do set it up this way, you're going to void the warranty and there are no refunds and
Yeah, that's right.
you won't be able to bring the guitar back. So are you really sure you want this? And he's like, yeah, I know what I want. And so then they went and set it up, but you could tell that they were like perplexed. Everybody's like, this can't be right. That can't be what you're trying to do. And it was kind of funny.
I took a Swiss Army knife to my guitar not that long ago to prepare for this tour. So
Oh
fuck
yeah.
taking it to a tech. Just take a Swiss Army knife and whittle that little nut there.
Ah, yeah.
Good to
I was gonna
go.
ask, what did he
Oh,
do? Like, why didn't you
that's what
knife
I
it?
did. It's
That
like,
makes
fuck.
sense.
This is Yowie. The other guy's guitar was trash picked. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna take it to a tech. I'm not gonna spend money to have somebody like set it up. Like actually, for Cleric, I got my bass set up by the bassist from Imperial Triumphant, Steve
Oh
Blank.
wow.
He does setups, and but it would be funny to have him do it. It would probably be like Sean described with that other luthier. It's like, no, I can help. I can make it so you guys we can really hear it good.
Oh right. The one that
But if
sounded
I
too good or too
Yeah,
clean.
it's got to be
Yeah.
obscured. I know what Sean means because I'm playing through a compressor pedal too for everything, even when I practice and everything. So I think that helps. It just muddies it in the right way.
Certifies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of reminds me of a question I normally ask and kind of said I haven't asked it earlier. Do you guys have any important gear preferences now, or like for the Yowie sound? Whether it's drums or not, I kind of imagine there might be a specialized drum set, but maybe not.
Nope.
Just a typical setup.
Regular ass drum set, which I keep finding is not necessarily regular ass drum set anymore. But I when I grew up playing the drums, regular ass drum set was two rack toms, a floor tom, and a kick drum and a snare. And generally speaking, the rack toms were 12, 13, and the floor tom
Sure.
16. And so I'm going to be for the first time playing on like house kits on this tour, which I'm extremely nervous about. And you can tell when we're playing at a place that like is not used to music like this because they're like, I mean, you don't really need another tom, right? It was like, you don't understand. I'm not like keeping the beat for the blues band and like I'll hit the tom every great once in a while for a fill, but it doesn't make a difference. It's like, no, there are parts that are meticulously written out that are using every single drum in a particular order. And if I don't have one, it's like giving a guitarist and saying like, I'm going to take the third string off, but like it's basically the same, just play it or whatever. It's like, no, I need all of the drums to play the part that I wrote. And if I don't have it, I'm going to have to like be thinking about it a lot while I'm playing, which is going to be distracting, make me mess up, and it's not going to sound the same. It's not going to be correct. So can I please have a regular ass drum set? And so we're going to see how often I get a regular ass drum set. I'm a little nervous about it going in.
But then we have opening bands that might help us too if we're missing.
Yes, for
That's
sure.
true.
So sometimes it's house kit, sometimes it's the opening band. But I've been like, but like, just telling the people that are setting it up is like, well, what are your requirements? I'm like, just regular ass drum set, 5 piece. And like back and forth, they're just like, Well, he has some very specific requirement. I'm like, that's not very specific, man. That's like kind of regular ass, right? That's like regular ass stuff. But so we'll see how pinky up and prima donna that is seen to be when we're out there. I hope not very.
Do you have a preferred kit though, like in general?
Nah. I
You like
mean,
what's your preferred? What's the one that you have?
the one that I have, so I will say I did select a kit because I was unhappy with the drum sound on the first two albums.
Okay.
Um, so the first album I felt like everything was like way too mid-range. And so for a second album, I got this it was again, it's a five-piece kit, but the drums are freaking enormous, right? So like the rack toms are essentially like floor tom size. So it was
Okay.
like 14, 15, 18 size. So they're like big, boomy drums. I was like, I'm gonna make this one sound, much more, have more ass to it. But then the problem we ran into is like a lot of fast stuff just kind of turned into like a hum. Like
Okay.
mixing wise, it was like really hard to hear, especially like fast floor tom stuff. So I ended up going and like finding a super cheap Fibes kit on Craigslist, which is an acrylic kit.
Okay. Yeah.
And like finding like it's got like enough kind of projection to where you can hear all of the notes that I am playing on it, but it also has like some ass to it. So, and plus, of course, it has prog pedigree, like Billy Cobham from Mahavishnu Orchestra played on a five set. Captain Beefheart's drummer played on a five set. So, and it's like an obscure brand that doesn't exist anymore. So I saw that on Craigslist for cheap, and I'm like, okay, that's the one.
That's cool that it worked. Like, it's cool and it worked for you too, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
Or
I'm not super particular about it. I literally that's just for recording and for live performances. I wouldn't
got
care.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about you guys though? For I guess same purposes, obviously, recording or touring. Is there something where like, okay, for the Yowie set, I need this?
Flat wound strings and a compression pedal.
Oh, flat wounds.
Uh,
I love flat wounds.
7 string guitar.
Hell yeah.
Those three
Yeah,
things.
I think Daniel, you and me have like maybe the most separate kind of guitar sound ever possible. Like between the flat wounds and
But
I
it's modeled on the
exclusively
old Yowie, I think. It's sort of
yeah,
inspired by, what you used
it's
to.
true.
Yeah.
Um, I play Mustangs just because they have that nice bridge. Um, yeah, I wanted to get a cheaper one, but the only shop open was this really expensive shop. I think
That
it was like I think it was like 1800 USD. It's like I'd never spend that much money on a guitar. Oh my God. But
are you
yeah, I
bringing
like
that
to
one?
sorry. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I
You're
got to bring
bringing
it
you
home.
bringing that one to tour with though?
No, I'm gonna bring the I like to buy like 80s Japanese knockoff guitars because they're basically the same thing as the Fender, like any Fender original, but they're just like so cheap. Like
The
yeah, like I think I
chipsets.
got
Are those-
yeah, like the one I got is called a Fernandez.
Oh
And
yeah. Those are real people
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it's really just a great guitar and it sounds like, it's not as good as my $2,000 Mustang that I had to buy, but it's still it still sounds pretty great. But yeah, I just need that bridge and yeah, that's about it. A compressor as well, because with Yowie, there's a lot of parts where it's like, there'll be like full open strumming, like super loud, palm muted stuff, and then there'll be like harmonics, and those harmonics need to be level with everything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be fully. Yeah, it needs to be all even.
Band
Yeah,
practice.
yeah.
That's rad. Well, I've sort of I don't want to sound mechanical, but I've exhausted my list here of questions about Yowie.
No
Not
worries.
because I can't come up with more, but because I'm a busy, crazy idiot. But I have really enjoyed this and learned honestly quite a lot. I feel like a lot of people are going to let's say we get this premiere going for Thursday, which I'm assuming is gonna happen. It's just like Mark and I talk once a week and we just blast each other with shit. Uh, where it's just like, do you remember when I emailed you this? I also talked about this. It wasn't, yeah. Anyway, but it's always like an adventure to keep up with every skin graft band. Everyone at Skingraft is like a little bit crazed, a little bit psychotic as far as like what the bands go. Even from the early days when you guys first got signed as well. Uh, shoot, I can't remember their name right now. Melt Banana is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
That like
Love
has
banana.
made a lot more room, a lot more space for themselves in the world than I predicted them to. With such an antagonistic sound, a lot like you guys, where
Yeah.
it's like a lot of it's just guesswork on the part of the audience. Where I'm just like, what? I don't know how they do that, but I'm really glad they did. And so I was just wondering, what are maybe some of your guys' favorite skin graft or like skin graft adjacent, those like noise rock weird bands? What are some of your favorite weird bands?
Ruins.
Hell yeah, Ruins is great.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess I would say Ruins, US Maple, Dazzling Killman, um, which, it's kind of funny. People were recently asking me about like influence stuff, and I was like, I guess I didn't realize at the time, but having Dazzling Killman be like a local band
Sure, yeah.
was pretty cool. Like it was like this band Dazzling Killman, whatever. But and now with them coming back and being reformed, that's like pretty exciting. But I think those are the big ones for me. I like Flying Lutenbachers.
Oh, right on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's sometimes a skin graft band. I'm pretty big into Cheer Accident as well, who is
Cool.
sometimes skin graft band. Yeah.
Not skin graft, but love Wrong,
Right on.
and found out about Wrong through the Yowie tour. Fantastic band.
I was gonna say no means no. I just noticed your shirt, Sean. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's another one of those like kind of classic of that era's or classics of that era, I guess is how you'd say that. But yeah, it's amazing to see that label all these noise bands continue to like crawl and like claw away at a different distinction of like what noise means. It's just like math rock is just like prog, where like there is a lot of generic repetitive stuff out there that's just mirroring itself, but there's also real progress, real weird stuff happening. And yeah, I'm just glad to continue to have Yowie representing the true weird stuff in life. Yeah, any thoughts on weirdness in general before we go? Is it important to be weird, or do you hate weirdos?
weirdliness is next to godliness.
Amazing.
No, I think it is important for me to like try to explore and push boundaries and sort of like smash conventions. I like doing that. I like asking, does this really need to be here? Is this really a rule that we should be obeying? Did you even notice that it was a rule and like very kind of intentionally breaking it? I may have a little bit of a oppositional defiant disorder in my blood.
Oh, I can relate. Not easy to have, man. Easier, like people think it's a cool thing to have, and then you get in trouble constantly, and you're just like, it's me, it's who I am, dude. I'm so sorry.
Yep. You
Um,
get
I, I think I think nothing compares to the feeling of locking in locking in with a group of people on something very specific like this. It's like there's nothing quite like it. It's like the work to reward ratio is just so huge on either side. Like it's really like the stakes are higher in every conceivable way. The space for mistakes is so much greater as well because we're all kind of on our own planets all the time. It's so incredibly easy to mess it up, and that is an exciting thing. That sense of danger is just it fills me with dread and fear. Even now at my computer, as I sit here in the comfort of my own home, I feel terrified and also excited for our upcoming tour.
yeah.
Me too.
Wow.
Never had to practice anything like this before, but it's so fun to like imagine how it could go down. And this is the hard part is like practicing, finding time to just hit the books as it were. But I'm really looking forward to you know, uh just having fun when we play and
Hmm.
letting the tunes be what they are and stretch out and some of the parts are going to be played differently than before, so be ready, you guys. Maybe you'll
Sounds
notice,
Surprise.
maybe you won't notice. We'll see.
If you do notice, feel free to come up and argue with us about it. You know, I think
Post what you
that
like
would be a
better.
cool
Yeah.
you
thing to
played that
do.
wrong.
Give us
Yeah,
timestamps.
yeah, come and yell at us. I think that's a funny idea.
That was always the most difficult part of being in math rock for me was like the 15 minutes when your set is done and everyone's picking your shit apart like that. Um,
No
but
way. If you can tell me what we did, we'll be best friends right away. And
Yeah.
we'll know that we found a true fan because it means
sometimes it is good
a
like
lot.
that.
I have to
Sometimes
listen
someone
hard.
get when they get it right, sometimes it can be freakier. It can be
That's true.
weird.
Well, you have between October 3rd when the album comes out and whenever you see a show of ours, you have that amount of time to figure out how the song is supposed to go so that you can judge our
Hmm.
performance on it.
You heard
And you
it,
have that
guys.
much time to kind of you can kind of construct like a rite of spring ballet kind of set of moves, you know. Love
Yes,
to see that. Love
please
to
do.
see that. It's great.
Like maybe so like TikTok trending choreography to Yowie. Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that to be more
I don't want to
specific. Yeah.
die.
What the hell is everybody doing on TikTok if not
I don't know.
choreographing Yowie's like dance
Right?
routines? What the fuck? What
It's
is even
just
on there? I haven't spent much time on it. I assume it's people who are going to be doing that shortly.
I would really love to see it. People have like encouraged us to like get into it, and I'm always just like a step behind in that stuff. And I'm good, but if that happens, I'll let you know. That'll be one of the first things that we figure out is how to do like some choreography to like Scrimshand or something like that. I really like that song. That right now that's my favorite of the new songs because it's the most. It feels the most confusing to me emotionally. That's how I would put that. And I dig music that challenges you like that. But I'm very much looking forward to the whole record and sharing it with everyone. So I'm uh, I'm gonna go and think about all the stuff you guys talked to me about.
Awesome.
Thanks for
uh,
interviewing
Oh,
us.
I thought that was
yeah,
really
thank you
good.
so much for being here, guys. Here, let me just stop the recording here so I know where to edit.
Thanks